All right, it's Stephen here. I've just got back from Manchester City's 4-1 victory over Port Vale, and it was a lovely game of football with loads of wonderful, wholesome little stories attached to that game. I'm going to talk about that, but before I do, don't forget, if you are a fan of football, if you are a fan of this channel, if you are a fan of Manchester City, transfer rumours and absolutely loads of stuff linked to football, go and download OneFootball right about now. They've been sponsoring my channel for a long time, mainly because they're fantastic. I would not work with any app that isn't brilliant. You guys know that. You should trust me on that one. Go download it in the link in the description below for all your Manchester City news straight. There's a compound word for you, straight and direct to your phone. Go and download it in the link below. But we're going to talk about Manchester City. They've just beaten Port Vale 4-1. I'm still warming up after legging it back. Actually, I'm boiling because I've legged it back to get back and do this video. But it was fun. It was a fun game of football. In general, how can you not enjoy that? Like, in general, we watch football because a small part of us, we obviously watch football because we want to support our team, but a small part of us thinks, I would love to be out there playing football. And today, we saw so many Manchester City fans doing that. We saw academy lads playing, we saw academy lads scoring goals, and we saw an academy lad walk off with a man of the match ball. Absolutely wonderful stuff, and I don't know what more you can ask for as a football fan than watching that. City fans in general, we've been spoiled over the past few years. We've watched world-class players do world-class things, and that's great. It's great, it's wonderful, it's exciting. It's exhilarating watching Aguero and David Silva and Leroy Sané and Sterling and Laporte and Fernandinho and all the phenomenal players, and then your Yayas and your Kompanys and Zabas and all that. Over the years, watching all those footballers is absolutely mesmeric. We're genuinely blessed to be able to watch such high-quality football. But one thing that you sometimes crave, and this is very much a personal thing, is something that you can relate to. You want something that you can put down to your level. You want to see someone that basically seemed attainable when you were a kid. You want to see a Manchester City fan or a young lad come through and basically be surrounded by all these world stars, but you know deep down that they are just like you. They are one of your own, basically. You know that basically they're a Manchester City fan. They care about the club in the way that you do. I'm not saying David Silva doesn't care about Manchester City. Of course he does, you know. We're literally part of his life. But that connection you get from growing up and attending the games, and we've all seen footage of Taylor Harwood-Bellis going to away games as a fan recently, as a few months ago, celebrating, I think it was away at Everton, was it? I think something like that. I can't remember. Who was it? I can't remember who it was against. But either way, we've all seen footage of that. And you know this guy cares about the club. You know it's his life. You know it's the same with Phil Foden. You know it's the same with Tommy Doyle, a guy who both his granddads are Manchester City fans. And then you've got Eric Garcia as academy lad on the bench. You've got Angelino, a returning academy lad, obviously, playing in the team. And that stuff is what dreams are made of. It's genuinely absolutely wonderful stuff. And I love that. I love it. And tonight was such a lovely night for the academy. It's a lovely night for the CFA. It's a great night for Manchester City fans. I know it's just a 4-1 victory over Port Vale, who obviously the league's below Manchester City, and they battled hard, fair play to them, and obviously the result was always going to be inevitable, but just to see these players who really care about the club, to see them be successful in a Manchester City shirt on a first team level, and look totally at home, sometimes even exceeding some of their contemporaries, it's great. It's genuinely great. And I feel like that's something we've not had a lot of in the past 10 years. You've had all the success and the glory, but we've not had a lot of that. Someone who feels like he's one of our own, you know? And now we're getting it. We're getting quite a few of it as well. It's good. We're getting to see these young lads come through, and no one can claim that they're anything but ours, you know? You can turn around and say, well, you've only got that success because you spent all this money. But when these young lads do what they've done, they can't take that away from us. They just can't. When Phil Foden becomes the world star that we know will be, when the likes of Tommy Doyle and Taylor Harwood-Bellis are one day playing for England, and they will be, whether it's at Manchester City or not, I don't know, but they'll probably go to the top. I'm pretty certain about that. No one can deny that's their success. No one can deny that they're part of Manchester City's successful academy, and I love that personally. A good game, you know. It's hard to judge a game like this when you've got a lower league team, because the tactics kind of go out the window really a little bit. They don't, but you know what I mean. It's like the players don't have to be anywhere near the best, so they're obviously a little bit less focused. Not to say that they weren't focused, but you know what I mean by that. It's hard to be up to play Port Vale as it is compared to, I don't know, Man United, or let's not use United, or someone like that, but you know what I mean. In general, it's difficult, but they were professional today. Port Vale were really rugged, really dogged in general. They were really determined. They got a good goal. But the players still were good, you know, they were pretty decent. Phil Foden, 100% my man of the match. The lungs on that lad, the touch of someone like David Silva, genuinely, the lungs of a Steven Gerrard. I'm nicking this off Blue Moon for him. The lungs of Steven Gerrard, and then like the goal scoring ability of someone like Frank Lampard. He's just a perfect midfielder, absolutely brilliant, and he's still only so young. Like, What more can you ask from the lad? The way he just links up with the rest of the players, the way he's got a natural goal scorer's instinct, and he barely plays football. He's just fantastic. A genuinely generational kind of player, and he's going to break through, and rightfully so. In my opinion, he should be in the first team already as a regular starter because his time is now. It's Phil Foden time. And today, he was fantastic and rightfully man of the match. And then you see someone like Tommy Doyle come on. A guy, I was in the family stand, so he was warming up right down in front of us, and watching Tommy Doyle, a guy who literally, like, you cut him in half, he's blue inside. He's literally just pure blue. That man is drenched in blue. Like, honestly, you could not meet more of a Manchester City fan than Tommy Doyle for obvious reasons. And to see him warming up and looking around at the stadium, then come on and play well when he came on. Heartwarming stuff. And Taylor Harwood-Bellis getting a start, getting a goal. I mean, it was a weird goal, and it's strange that he didn't. It was a shame they didn't get to celebrate because of the confusion, whether he thought he was offside with VAR. And so he was like, he scored his first goal, but he was like, oh, I've scored, and that was a shame that the emotion was stripped from that, but that's just football sometimes. But I wanted to see him be able to celebrate it unequivocally and go and run and dance and celebrate, but he didn't get a chance to do that, but he scored. I mean, he was a little bit kind of like slack-footed getting near Pope, obviously a very wily striker, and that happens, you know, a bit older, a bit more experienced, that will come, and maybe Bravo was a little bit flat-footed as well, and Angelino should have stopped the cross and whatever, but in general, I thought he grew into the game. He looked stronger, more confident as the game went on, and he's still only 17, I think. I'm pretty certain he's still 17. He's young. He's incredibly talented. This is incredible experience for him. Playing against a bulldozing forward like that is better than City just have all the ball. I know we had all the ball in general, but he still had a bit of defending to do. And even though he did get the better of him once, it was nice to see him play. Nice to see him on the score sheet. You know, we had Taylor Harwood-Bellis on the pitch with Tommy Doyle and Phil Foden at one point. And Angelino, another academy prospect, like, just wonderful stuff. I know it's lower league football, against a lower league team, but it's just good to see that. It's genuinely lovely. Elsewhere, Bravo, whatever. Cancelo got forward really well. A couple of nice passes and stuff. Gundogan, a nice pinged ball at one point to Angelino. Angelino thought had a good game. He probably it's hard to tell where I was sat. Maybe he should have stopped the cross. I don't know. It's hard to say. But in general, he's the amount of times he picked out Man City play in the box. A fantastic assist for Phil Foden. The touch on the chest and then the straight across. Lovely stuff from Angelino. A decent, good game from him. Bernardo ran as he always does. David Silva, a good solid display. Aguero got his goal, tapping in the back post. Worked really hard. No lack up of professionalism for him. Who else have I missed? Who knows? Morris came on. Decent little cameo. Someone else will probably miss, but in general, that was just a good game of football. I'm delighted for the young lads. Like, it's just great to see them. They are very talented. Some of these footballers are very young, very talented. And what I love about what Guardiola said is that they're not here because they're English. They're not here because, you know, they're academy. They're here because they're good enough, basically. I'm paraphrasing a bit there, but basically he said, I'm playing these because they are good enough, because they've worked hard and because they are talented, not just because they're young English lads or because they're English lads that have got a link to Manchester City. They are there entirely on merit. Fingers crossed we'll see more of them in the coming weeks, and maybe one or two will get another performance again this season. Maybe, fingers crossed. And hopefully we'll see a lot of them in the future because they're fantastic. Anyway, guys, I'm delighted about that. Good result, 4-1. What more can you do? Pope got his goal against Stones. Though he had nothing to do with Stones. I was watching Pope, right, and he wouldn't go anywhere near Stones through that whole game. He was trying to avoid him like the plague, genuinely. But, you know, he got his moment in the spotlight. Good goal, fair to him, good header. And Port Vale fans were loud, decent. Fair play to the Port Vale fans. But City were through. Foden was the star today. It was great seeing Harwood-Bellis get a goal and another solid performance. It was great to see Tommy Doyle get on as well. I love it, absolutely love it. Guys, if you are a Manchester City fan, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It'll be very much appreciated. Welcome to the channel if you are new as well, of course. Like, comment, let me know your man of the match, all the usual stuff. I'll be back tomorrow with another video in a bit. Oh, quickly, one thing I forgot to mention as well. It's great to see some senior players get a rest. No De Bruyne, no Sterling. So nice, no Fernandinho. And interestingly, no Eric Garcia. Yep, he was warming up and he was on the bench, but it's almost like he's been dropped because he's now the senior option, which is an incredible vote of confidence in Pep Guardiola. It's likely that he'll probably start against Manchester United now. This guy who was basically just an academy prospect about a month ago is now probably basically in the first team. How good is that? It's absolutely huge for Garcia. And it's great, as once again, going back to that we see some of the senior players get a rest. De Bruyne needs a rest. Raheem Sterling finally needs a rest. It's good that we've been able to get through tonight, play some academy lads, and also see a first team player or two rested, and also see, obviously, this kind of establishment of Eric Garcia as a potential first teamer. That's why he was not involved in the team tonight, simply because he's that good now and he's that important, which is absolutely wonderful. Anyway, in a bit.